O futuro é guiado por dados, por decisões instantâneas, pela conectividade. E no sul de Minas Gerais, o Centro de Competência Embrapi Inatel em rede 5G e 6G, xGMobile, coloca o Brasil no protagonismo da nova era da tecnologia. Comunicação móvel que une setores, máquinas e pessoas. Soluções práticas para desafios reais. Quem lidera a transformação, cria oportunidades e amplia mercados. O futuro é agora. Ele começa em Minas e precisa de quem move a economia. Faça parte da revolução. Faça parte do xGMobile.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are coming back for afternoon section of the second day of your workshop. And now I have the pleasure to invite Mr. Flávio Henrique Belo Rodrigues from FAPEMIG. He is advisor at FAPEMIG, work on revision of the foundation strategic planning and the structuring of funding programs aimed at startups, especially deep techs. Graduated in Public Administration from Fundação João Pinheiro, with postgraduate degree at IT Management from PUC Minas, and a professional master degree at Entrepreneurship and Innovation from Swinburne University of Technology in Australia. Represents FAPEMIG in the Seed Capital FIPS and the Judging Committee for the Pro Innovation Credit Line with BDMG. His talk is going to be about how is FAPEMIG managed to place Minas Gerais on the world map of 6G development. Flávio, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you all here at the second international workshop of xGMobile. I want first to thank the entire Inatel team for the invitation and for organizing this event. And as you can imagine, I'm not here to contribute for the technical and technological discussion, but I'm here to talk about how FAPEMIG is helping to place Minas Gerais on the world map of 6G development. FAPEMIG is the state-level research funding agency here from the state of Minas Gerais, and giving some spoiler about how we are placing Minas Gerais at the 6G world map development. It's mostly through investing in funding Inatel and its projects. So first, I would like to just give some I will offer a practical and evidence-based perspective on how a subnational science, technology, and innovation agency can effectively accelerate frontier technological trajectories, such as 6G. But first, I would like to give you some context about what FAPEMIG is, what we do, and why 6G is important for us. So first, what's FAPEMIG? As you can see here, is the main public institution responsible for funding scientific research and technological innovation in the state of Minas Gerais. We operate in the intersection of academia, research centers, startups, industry, and government, which is precisely where deep technologies such as 6G must be nurtured. Just to be clear, besides research is in your name, only research, we do fund the whole innovation system. So we include startups, companies, and everything involved in the in the innovation system. And we have many ways to operate. So we have a diversified number of mechanisms, instruments, programs, but mostly we do our job through grants, and grants, there are non-fundable funds for R&D projects. And also we have a lot of scholarships, from undergraduate research scholarships to master and PhD scholarships. And our mandates includes funding cutting-edge research, strengthening scientific infrastructure, promoting innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystems, supporting innovation inside companies, and building bridges between research results and market applications. And let's have a look about our budget and relevance in the state of Minas Gerais. So as you can see, COVID hit us pretty hard. So this was some dark years, let's say like that. But since then, we are growing consistently in terms of budget that we are investing in science, technology, and innovation in the state of Minas Gerais. This year, 2025, our annual budget was of 560 million reais. And for next years, we are expecting 610 million reais to be invested in science, technology, and innovation in the state of Minas Gerais. Just some information, we are the third subnational research funding agency in terms of budget in Brazil, only behind São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, very close to Rio de Janeiro, but we are the third, and this is our annual budgets to do our job and our mission. And comparing our relevance between our peers in a national level, we have CNPq, we have FINAP, and we have CAPES. And just to show how relevant FAPEMIG is to Minas Gerais, we account for 41% of all the investment in research and innovation technology in Minas Gerais. So almost half of the investment being done in Minas Gerais from these agencies is coming from FAPEMIG. And why does 6G matters for us? Obviously, as a cutting-edge technology, it's important for our research funding agents. But more than that, 6G has a political and a social interest from the government and from FAPEMIG. So it's a priority in our agenda. And just to give some examples, and here I'm going to quote a little bit Professor Luciano. He visited us recently at FAPEMIG, and we have some applications that are unique to our country and to Minas Gerais. So 6G applications for Brazil are not the same as those driving Europe or Asia or any other country in Brazil, in the world, sorry. And Inatel is doing exactly that by developing solutions that are tailored to our realities, to our challenges, to our opportunities, considering the uniqueness of Brazil and Minas Gerais, and ensuring that the frontier technology like 6G are not imported models, but technology shaped for our context. And in Brazil, and especially in Minas Gerais, we have sectors that define our economy. So we have agribusiness, mining, environmental monitoring. So those are some sectors and applications that we are aiming to see here at our state. And in terms of farmlands, Brazil remains disconnected. So without connectivity, digital transformation in the field is not possible. So we expect that 6G will finally enable real-time monitoring, automation, and large-scale sensor networks, even in remote areas. And in mining, for example, another sector that defines our economy, 6G will support robotics in hazardous zones and continuous monitoring of critical structures. We had experienced some environmental disasters in Minas Gerais. So it's critical for us that this technology can help us to not have these disasters anymore. And also, however, 6G goes far beyond just in the application industry and productivity. We also expect that it can, in large cities, enable underserved urban areas and peripheral communities to access the digital world. So what I'm saying here is that we are not just looking for funding cutting edge technology. It's also important for FAPEMIG because it has a political and a social application that's important to our economy, to our country, and it's important to the state and to FAPEMIG. Moving on, just to prove that we are aligned to the priority of this technology, I grabbed this from our strategic plan, the current one that we have. At the time, 6G was the technology, the generation that we were talking about, and it appears in our strategic plan. Sorry, that's in Portuguese, but in the bottom center we can see IoT and AI, and the bottom right we can see 5G communications as technological platforms that enter in our strategic plan as priorities. So it shows how important for FAPEMIG 6G is. And I'm not going to go through the objectives of AI and IoT, but just to mention in terms of 5G communications, our objective in our strategic plan was to transform Minas Gerais into a major producer of technology based on 5G communication. So that was our goal. And I believe that that goal, even though 5G was the frontier at the time, that this goal and this platform created the technical and institutional base for the natural evolution into 6G development that we are having here today. And in other words, the strategic plan was built around the pillars that 6G now expands. And that's why FAPEMIG's investment in Inatel and xGMobile fits so naturally within our strategy, because they are there in the core of it. We are now conducting a full revision of our strategic plan for the next 5-year cycle. And we expect, as 5G appeared in the last one, in the current one, we expect that 6G appears explicitly as a frontier technology aligned with national and international trends. And just to explain why this is important for FAPEMIG and I think any research funding agents, these drives our future calls, investment programs, or evaluation prioritization criteria, and long-term investment commitments. So just to give you an example on this, we have, for instance, the Compete Minas 2025 call, and this call funds corporate innovation up to 4 million per project. 4 million, we are talking about large companies. If you are a startup, it goes up to 400,000 reais. And the proposals aligned with priority areas received additional points during evaluation and that affected the final ranking. So this is a way that we can assure that this kind of technology and these priorities for the government, for FAPEMIG, can be translated in your instruments, in your mechanisms for funding technologies such as 6G. And in this call specifically, 6G appeared as a priority topic within the broader telecommunications and connective domain. So we did it in that call in specifically. And that's about FAPEMIG, the context, and now I would like to talk a little bit about our partnership with Inatel. And as I've been saying, Inatel is one of FAPEMIG's most strategic partners, connect to our strategic plan in this platform of 5G and probably in the next strategic plan for 6G, and has been consistently we have been consistently investing in advanced telecommunication research carried out here. And just to illustrate the importance of Inatel for FAPEMIG and its excellence, as part of our 40th anniversary, so FAPEMIG is 40 years old, the celebration was on the August 28th, and Inatel received a special recognition in the Aspiring Projects Initiative, which highlights research efforts that have transformed real-world contexts in Minas Gerais. So Inatel was granted this recognition, and we were able to, all the public were able to experience technological demonstrations and innovative solutions from the xGMobile Competence Center, as you can see in that picture there, and which reflects Inatel's scientific excellence, national impact, and growing influence in 5G and 6G ecosystem. And go a little bit further on that, I would like to show you some numbers from this partnership. So in this first part here, I just, in a simple way, got from our database all the projects that contained the keywords telecommunications, mobile telecommunications, 5G or 6G, and it accounted for more than 31 million reais in the past 10 years. So in 10 years, 31 million reais invested in this kind of technologies. It's not the whole portfolio, it's just a simple one through these filters that I made. But what I want to show you is that considering only the 3 past years, so we are talking about 2023, 2024, 2025 calls from FAPEMIG, Inatel had 11 projects approved and totaling 16 million reais. So just in the 3 past years, we have accounted for more than half of all investment made from FAPEMIG in the past 10 years in this field. So it shows how we are prioritizing this kind of technology, how we are prioritizing or in our strategic plan, translating into reality here with Inatel as our key partner in terms of this technology. And okay, and let's have a look. So just to close here, so 6G and Inatel have gained momentum, and that's what this number shows. And I would like to show you some of these projects, 5 of them actually, and just to highlight Inatel in all these cases, in all these projects that we are talking about here, their researchers are competing in a national level, not national, sorry, in a state level with other institutions, and they are managing to secure a significant amount of money from FAPEMIG and a significant amount of funding from FAPEMIG. And let's go through these 5 projects very quickly. We have the first one, it's from a call from 2023. The call was internationalization of R&D centers in Minas Gerais. And this project here called 6G Internationalization Program was 2 million reais invested here at Inatel for strengthening Inatel's cooperation with leading global R&D center, ensuring Brazilian researchers participating in early 6G discussions. So it's basically what we are seeing here today. So this is a project that contributes to this initiative to make Minas Gerais and Inatel part of the discussions in a national and international level. The next one is from a call also from 2023. This one was research networks, and 2 millions. I think it's also, yeah, also 2 millions for this one to create in Minas Gerais a 5G, 6G research network. And Inatel is the one that coordinate this network that involves UFMG, UFU, Unife, so other institutions in our state. So it's a statewide research network. And it promotes joint research, shared infrastructure, and stronger interactions with industry. Another one, it's from a call also from 2023 that supports for science, technology, and innovation projects within Minas Gerais public policies. This one was to invest and to be created the xGMobile Center that we are here today. So we were focusing here on developing next generation mobile networks technologies aligned with Brazil's strategic sectors and public policy priorities. And so we had for this one 5.6 million reais invested here at Inatel to fund this competence center, xGMobile. We also have multi-user cyber physical 6G infrastructure project. This one's from a call from 2024 to support multi-user facilities, laboratories. And this one is to fund the facilities here at Inatel, multi-user facilities, cyber physical and open source based infrastructure at Inatel. It integrates advanced test environments for convergent architectures, including 5G, 6G, and Nova Genesis. And the last one, we have, this is from this year. It's called that strengthening INBRAP units. And this one's to strengthen Inatel's INBRAP units, another 1.5 million reais invested here. This one specifically is to strengthen Inatel industrial interface, so how they can communicate and can partner with the companies and the industries around here and our state and in Brazil as a whole. And FAPEMIG is investing to increase Inatel's ability to identify new opportunities, build partnerships with companies, engage industry, diversify the sectors they serve, and enhance the visibility of their competence. So this one's to foster and contribute for the industrial interface here at Inatel, specifically in the INBRAP unit that they have here. So I think this projects shows that we have many different mechanisms and many different strategies that FAPEMIG operates to help build what we have here. So we are going from internationalization, research network, a competence center here, Inatel, infrastructure, and strengthening the INBRAP units in its industrial interface. So it's a diversified portfolio that we have to help and support Inatel and all other institutions in the state of Minas Gerais so they can do better their job of researching and developing cutting edge technologies. So the investments I just described, combined with this scientific capacity of our institutions, Inatel specifically, are consolidating the state as a reference in next-generation connectivity. So we have a scientific critical mass, we have multi-user laboratories, we have internationalization as a strategy, and we have industry integration supported by FAPEMIG. And so 6G leadership is not built on isolated projects, but through ecosystem continuity, policy alignment, and coordinated institutional strategy. And that's what precisely what Minas Gerais through FAPEMIG and its partners are building these days. And before closing, I want to highlight something essential. FAPEMIG's role in strengthening the 6G ecosystem in Minas Gerais goes far beyond our direct support to Inatel and its Embrapi unit, and the cutting-edge research and technological development carried out here. We also want to create a fertile environment from which innovation can emerge and scale. So we have a comprehensive set of funding instruments that connect academia, startups, and industry. I mentioned that before, but I would like to highlight 3 of them over here, just to say that the research being carried out here at Inatel can move forward with FAPEMIG's help, to be applied in the industry, in companies, and in our society here in Brazil and worldwide. So just to highlight 3 calls that can support this transition from laboratories to the industry and the society. We have Compete Minas call, I mentioned it before. So funding innovation directly inside established companies. This program can provide up to 4 million, as I mentioned. And we are funding technologies and R&D with clear market potential here. So this call is for any kind of companies, from small business to large companies. Of course, the amount of money that they can reach up, it's different, but it's from all of them. And we have something specific for deep tech startups. So we have calls specifically for them. And as we are talking about cutting edge technology in these deep tech startups, we differentiated funding lines that can reach up to 2 million reais per startup. So while in Compete Minas call, when talking about startups, we were talking about up to 400,000 reais. But if you are deep tech, we have calls that you can come up to 2 million reais, even being a startup, even not having any kind of revenue at all. So these 2 are very directed for companies and startups. And the last one is to bring researchers even closer to industry. So we have a program that for the insertion of highly qualified professionals into companies through scholarships of up to 6,000 reais per month, which can be complemented by companies themselves. So here is another call that we are helping to put all these researchers and move this research to the companies when they are ready, of course, and help them to be established and be put into these companies and continue all the work they are being doing to the laboratories. So I just want to highlight these calls to show that we have a whole bunch of mechanisms, instruments to cover the whole innovation ecosystem and help translate all the knowledge and all the knowledge being built here at Inatel to the market and to the society. So Minas Gerais has chosen to invest early and decisively in the next generation of networks technologies. FAPEMIG's strategy planning, target funding mechanism, and long-term partnerships, especially with Inatel, have enabled the state to build a solid and internationally visible foundation for 6G research. And to finish, I invite all of you, researchers, companies, and international partners, to collaborate with Minas Gerais. We believe that innovation emerges from networks and that global leadership in 6G will come from coordinated, multidisciplinary, and cross-border efforts. And so I invite you all to cooperate with Minas Gerais and with our R&D center, with Inatel, with our researchers, because FAPEMIG is here to support all this interaction and to fund this research and all the cutting edge development that's being done here. Thank you.
Before we start the question section, I would like to thank you for the support to the xGMobile and Inatel during the last years. Not in name only from Inatel, but also in name of Embrapi. I guess I can use this hat as a coordinator of the project. We really appreciate all the help that you have done for us during those years. So we do have time for questions.
Thank you. This was very interesting. I was curious about the researcher at company call. What is expected from this experience? You mentioned highly qualified professionals. What type of professional? Is it a postdoc? Is it a PhD? Is it a master student that participated in a project and is aggressing? What type of profile would fit into this?
Yeah, basically, as I recall, it's master's degree, master's, doctorates, and PhD. So highly professional, we are meaning here like postgraduate students.
Other question?
Well, thank you, Flávio, for the presentation. Actually, this is one of the talks I enjoyed the most because it's about numbers, about the investment. And one question was related to the question about Christian, about the research company call. You said it is 6,000 reals per month, but how many years? It depends on the call. It depends on the CB of the candidate, or
yeah, the value of the scholarship depends on if you are a PhD or have a master. Depends on your qualifications. Mm-hmm. So the value vary. Mm-hmm. And also the time I need to have a look at the call specifically. We are going to have another one next year. That's why I bought this one here. The last one, I think, was something like 2 years to 3 years that we could give this scholarship.
No, thank you.
Any other questions? So let's thank you once again. Thank you very much for the presentation.